Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Young Broke Musicians podcast with your hosts, Connor and
Roxy. Hey guys.
How are you all doing? Hope you're all safe and well and washing them hands and all that jazz.
And all of that jazz.
And all that jazz. Today, we are joined by a really, really exciting guest.
I've actually been really excited.
You've been
about
buzzing for this.
I've been trying to get this wonderful human being, this gem,
legend,
on for a little while now. When we started the podcast, Lee was like on.
We made a big list of people
list.
we wanted on the podcast, and it's pretty good feeling that we crossing one of those names off.
Yes. So.
And probably the coolest name off.
Yes. Do you wanna?
So we have got the incredible Lee Smith on the podcast today.
Woo!
Lee, insert round of applause. How are you, mate?
Never up that intro. Thank you very much for having me.
No, you
anytime, mate. Anytime.
A nugget of just
knowledge,
wisdom and knowledge. So yeah, amazing.
Pretty cool.
So excited to have you on here. Thank you. So you are a magician, a businessman, just an absolute all-rounder, incredible human being.
I like
fangirling.
I'm a magician that helps others to unlock their full potential.
Oh, I like that.
I like to word it.
That should be on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it should.
Should be on a t-shirt. Lee Smith merch.
Exactly. So you've done some quite high profile things. We'll start with sort of your background and all that kind of stuff. You've done some really impressive things that I literally, when you told me, I was like, mind blown. So you've performed for people like Trump,
that must have been interesting.
President of the United States of America, and also
comment section, please be nice.
And you've performed for Arsenal as well, haven't you? So do you want to tell us more about?
I guess it's an interesting journey. I mean, for me, I never thought I'd end up even being a full-time magician, let alone doing some of the things we've achieved. And I say we, because I've got a business partner.
Yeah.
But it's been an interesting one because I've just always followed my passion. And I'm a big believer that if you follow your passion, you can turn your passion to profit. It can be done. It's just how you make those choices. And for years, I just coasted along as a magician, performing on the circuit, just doing the run-of-the-mill bits and pieces. But after I'd say a few years, I just realised that I had more potential. I wanted more. And those sort of bigger jobs that we've achieved and the bigger projects we've achieved haven't all happened by chance. They happen through people you meet and people you collaborate with.
Yeah.
But for me, it was I sort of set those goals. Me and Spencer decided a long time ago that we was going to set these big goals. You know, we wanted to be more than just an extra, like a magician, like a musician sometimes, and performers. We're considered extras, even though we know we're not. I was like, how do you make yourself an essential? So it got to a point where I reached out for help. I got to a point in my life where I was coasting. I couldn't really get out of this sort of hole. I knew I had the potential, but I couldn't get to where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So I sought out advice from others, and I went on courses, and I learned from other people in the industry. And eventually I met a guy that changed my life, a guy called Trevor Liley, who was a very successful sales trainer for HP and Cisco, but he had a background in magic.
Wow.
And he taught me everything. And I sort of spent 6 months with him, and he introduced me to bigger people.
Yeah.
And I realised that anybody can do this. You know, you don't have to have these certain skills. You've just got to want more. You've got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And after a while, I decided I want to be more than what I am, and I want to do big projects. I don't want to be a magician. I want to be the magician. And I make myself an essential for people.
Yeah.
And cut a long story short, we sort of mapped out journeys. I learned skills from other people of how to do this. And it all comes down to collaborating with others, meeting the right people, making the right connections. A big part of what I always say to people is the first thing you've got to change is your mindset. And I know we all talk about your why and your mindset, and you've all heard this before. But the reason people repeat that is because it's true.
Yeah.
You know, until you get out your own way and you realise you've got to work a bit harder, you've got to make these decisions.
As long as I guess you're working towards that sole purpose that I always think, remember why you started. And if you always sort of think back with everything you do, why you started and what your purpose is, then it's going to be successful.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a principle that we call WIDIFY, and it's been kind of a game changer for us and other people that we've taught it to. And it stands for why I do it for you. And it's kind of forget about what you do, forget about why you do it. Take your passion, the thing that you believe in, and make it an essential to help somebody else.
Yeah.
If you can do that, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
People no longer want just this thing. They want you because not only because you're you have this amazing product that can help them and add value to them. And I think every time I create something now, I'm like, it has to add value to other people or I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the bigger projects we got involved with. I was like, I got involved with the world of product launches. I'll give you an example. Me and Spencer set ourselves a goal to launch a global product using magic. Now, that should be an impossible task. That's like walking into Coca-Cola and going, we're going to launch your next brand using magic tricks. They're going to go, that ain't gonna happen, right? But that's kind of what we wanted to do. So it was like, how can we make this happen? So we tapped into our circles. We looked at people we'd worked with before, and we was like, who does product launches? How do they do them? How can we use magic to launch that product? We need to brand it. We need to be on a stage. It's got to be a TV advert, whatever it might be. It's got to be a viral video.
Yep.
We just mapped out a journey of how we would make this happen. And by reverse engineering that journey and then actually starting the wheels in motion, we started to get traction. And eventually we tapped into somebody that said, oh, we do have a product launch. And I think the first one we done, we just kind of performed at it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, we want to be the people launching the product.
Yeah.
How do we do that? And we sort of like went back into this journey and looked at more people we need to connect with. And eventually we did get a global product launch. It was a smaller one first, and we got a bigger one. And before we knew it, somebody said, would you do this global launch? And we ended up doing a global launch. And then off the back of that, we got quite a lot of people saw us, and somebody else said, that was amazing. You need to do that for our company.
That's amazing.
What we've done to add the value, we've taken the magic, but put it into their message, their product, their brand, to make it engaging. So they don't just want a magician, they want their message heard. So we had to change the sort of dynamics of what we do to make it all about them, to why we do it for you. And then off the back of that, we got a huge one for Benefit Cosmetics, which my wife was working for at the time, and we did a huge
Who is
launch
absolutely beautiful, might I add. Stunning woman.
Hypnosis, isn't it?
Look into the eyes, look into the eyes, don't look around the eyes, look into the eyes. I could just picture that scene from Little Britain. Look into the eyes, don't look around the eyes, look into the eyes, and you're under.
Yeah, my favorite thing I've ever seen. She's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I'll make sure she sees this.
Sorry, carry on.
So that's kind of how it happened anyway. And that sort of started the journey, and we did a bigger one and a bigger one. And before we knew it, we did end up doing a global launch, and that we ended up doing one for Coca-Cola eventually, which was
that's amazing.
Part of our journey.
What a brand.
And off the back of that, we got seen by, it's always who sees you, and it's about being visible. And we know that by adding value to other people, we get seen.
Yep.
So we don't have to really do anything. We just work with amazing people, amazing brands, and we just get seen. And people say we need that because we added the value, and next thing you know, you get a call from them, and we don't really have to chase anymore, which is quite nice. But
I guess having that name behind you, it sort of makes the work a little bit less, having to chase brands and companies to work with. Now that you've got that on your CV,
Definitely.
that's a pretty big accomplishment, isn't it? That's amazing.
I think so, and I think the bigger projects. I mean, I never thought I'd be working for Trumps and royal families, but that just comes from making enough noise. You've got to be out there, and the thing is being visible. We all know this, but it's how do you do it? And there's a right and a wrong way, I think, to be visible. And I think if you're visible, but you're adding value to people, more people want it. And I think that's the key. It's find a way to make your service an essential. And that didn't just work with like the product launches. We do this with everything. It's find a way to make your service an essential. And that didn't just work with like the product launches. We do this with everything. I'll give you an example. I do a lot of weddings still. I still love weddings. But rather than just go do 2 hours magic like a lot of magicians do, I was like, well, I want to be there all day. I want to make myself an asset. Incorporated like a Toastmaster service, so I can announce couples into the room. I can announce speeches. I can fill in all the gaps of the day for the photos and drinks, the evening room turnaround. People come to a wedding fair. I'm sure there's people on this podcast that do wedding fairs and wedding shows. Don't just be another musician or another supplier, be the supplier.
Yeah.
When they come to my stand, I don't want them to go, well, actually this happens. They will go past, go, magician. No, we don't really need a magician. But they haven't spoken to me. No. By the time they've spoken to me, they don't go, we need a magician. We have to have one.
Yeah.
Because I found ways to be a solution to every part of their day, from breaking the ice of the guests to announce them into the room, announcing the speeches, holding the evening guests back as they do the evening room.
Keeping the flow.
Keeping everything flowing, leading right up until the first dance. So you're no longer just a magician. A solution to it. And this is what I always say to suppliers, especially in the wedding business, don't be a wedding supplier, be the solution to their wedding day. They want our service, they want the perfect wedding day.
Yep.
And if you can make that happen, you're gonna be the person they go to every single time, and then they recommend to their friends.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how it works. And again, I learned all this just from other people and collaborating. I'm massive on collaboration. Anyone that knows me well will know that probably my biggest asset is my network.
Yes.
Because I'm a connector of people. I like to put people together, even if there's nothing in it for me, because I know that maybe down the line I get a return, or someone comes to me and says, oh, thanks for that connection, and they just think of you automatically.
It does work. It
does
really
work.
does.
It really does. It's about helping others.
Definitely.
If you have enough people, you get the recognition for it. If I connect people together that end up having an amazing relationship. I kind of get the credit for that without even doing anything. It was a phone call or just, you must meet this person.
Yeah.
And collaboration is massive in every industry. And I think not enough people understand the power of creativity.
Especially during times like this, I've noticed, particularly in the musicians circle, because of the big no-no that's happening in the world right now. All the musicians, I think, are collaborating a lot more.
Oh, 100%.
Like, whether it's like singing, like doing songs together, or just sharing each other's posts more, helping each other get gigs. I think what's happening in the world right now has definitely brought a lot more people into networking with each other and collaborating, which is nice to see, but also a shame that it's taken a global pandemic to do that.
It's given you the time to do it as well. It's given you the time to sit down, and because I remember talking to you and you're like, I'm going crazy. There's nothing that I can do. It's just the most active person and productive person that I know, and you were like, I don't know what to do.
I was going mad, but that just comes from, I never used to be like that, but that does come from just doing it. And the more you connect with people, the more you get, the more you grow your business, it just becomes addictive. I did find it very difficult during lockdown because I had all these ideas and I couldn't execute any of them. I couldn't meet people. Everyone was getting where they are now. We're at a point, end of lockdown now, coming towards the end, and people are all zoomed out, so no one even wanted to go on Zoom anymore. It was just kind of, if I don't have to go on Zoom, I'm
not a fan of Zoom.
It has been very tough, especially for me, sort of like more my mindset and my mentality, really, because I've gone from kind of traveling the world to being stuck in, stay-at-home dad, and had to get rid of some people that work for me, etc. And that's been hard. But you've got to keep going. You've got to stay positive as you can, and that's the thing. Find things you can do, and there's always something if you look. That's what I would say to people.
What I love about you is when we met up, I think it was about 2 years ago now, like properly. You had this theory of you have to have like a pie in the sky thing. So it's like all of the jobs that you kind of go for, and then there's one sort of unattainable one. And you have a specific name for it, don't you? The Monster.
I'm going to give Spencer gets credit for this, because this is something I actually learned from Spencer. He's my business partner. We do a lot of projects together in different industries. But he's got this great saying, find your monster. And a monster is where you have a goal that is so big, so unachievable, it's almost impossible to get. But by going for the monster, even if you get one a year, so you wouldn't have had it in the first place.
Yeah.
Go for
I like that.
But if you don't get the monster,
really cool.
You'll pick up a lot more just by going for it's the whole, shoot for the moon, hit the stars, or vice versa. But, it's that whole, like, you go big and you will find something, the bigger your goals are. That is the key, really. And that is something I will say to people, don't think small, because I used to be a very small thinker. And I was one of those that was like, if I just do this gig, do that gig, I'll just get by. That's okay. And unfortunately, a lot of us are taught that. You'll be okay as long as you just get by. Stay below the back threshold, all this stuff. It encourages small thinking.
Comfortable.
Whereas big thinking encourages the opposite. It's that whole, I've got a lot of my friends that I hang around with, that I grew up with, and I'm not going to mention any names, but some of the years have said things to me like, oh, Lee, that's ridiculous. You won't do that, but good luck. Whereas I might say the same thing to my entrepreneurial friends, and they go, that's cool, but why not do it this way? And they add another layer.
I love that.
Because they think so big. And it really is about thinking big. The bigger you can think, the more you will achieve. And that is when I was like, we're going to launch global products. I'm going to be like the biggest magician I can possibly be. How would I do that? How can I, one of my goals is to share my passion and magic with every single person on the planet. Whether it be through podcasts, videos, projects, live events, doesn't matter how you do it. You'll never achieve it because it's an impossible task. But by going for it, you're going to achieve so much more. You can make so much more noise. You're going to hit so many more goals.
I love that.
Just by having that ultimate, your ultimate WIDIFY, if you like, why are you doing it for somebody else?
I love that.
That's really cool.
Follow it.
And the higher that you get and the more monsters that you get, the higher that your monsters are going to get. Because then the more
monsters.
Exactly
the bigger the monsters,
the more monsters that you get, the more that they're just going to kind of slowly come down to your norm, and then you're just going to hit higher and higher. I love it.
That's really cool.
I love it. Now we must talk about your book. You have an amazing book that is literally like,
I love the cover of it.
It's a Bible, is what it is. I've read this about 3 times now. I'm again reading it again.
You're in it
now. Oh yeah, and I am in it as well, which is really cool. However,
thank you again.
I absolutely love this book. Now, for any of you who want to start your own business, who just need that extra push, extra bit of confidence,
for those musicians that think, I don't want this to be my side job. I don't want to be
Yeah.
doing this in the evening and a day job during the day, and want to make that jump, which we both have.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a scary jump.
It is a scary
It's a very scary jump. You made yours early. I made mine the day before nurseries and schools were closed during lockdown. Bit risky, but totally worth it. But it's a scary jump, isn't it?
It is a very scary
And
jump.
this book helps with that.
I mean, even just flicking through it, you've got the content and even the little subheaders. It's like unlock your mind, and there's things like believe in yourself and all of these amazing things.
Motivational stuff.
But there's so many things that is just literally like nuggets of gold.
Have you done the sniff test?
And I did do the sniff test. Now, a bit like I'm a little bit weird. I love stationery, notebooks, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, in fairness, I had this when it came out, so it's a little bit older now. So I probably wouldn't want to sniff it now. However, you have got a book with you, haven't you?
I have got a book. Yeah.
Now, this is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting. Lee has very kindly said that we can do
Young Brute Musicians giveaway.
Yeah, but
That's the
it's a
word.
competition. That's the word we're looking for. Lee has very kindly given us a book, one of these, which is literally you need to get your hands on.
Oh,
one
definitely.
Of these.
If you have like a small business or even
Or
just a musician
or a big business. It
and
helps in everything.
yeah, just want to like scale up and not hate the word, but leverage what you want to like leverage what you're already doing and just make it bigger, then this really is the book for you.
It really is. And you can get it on Amazon, can't you?
You can, which has amazing reviews.
By Lee Smith and Spencer Wood, and STEP stands for Steps Towards Extraordinary Potential. I will say, because this is relevant on this podcast,
100%.
is the book is something that we've done ourselves. It's not something we've just learned. These are things we've actually done, put into practice, that have worked for us, helped others. And when we decided to write the book, it wasn't really just about, let's write a book because we want to make some money. That's not how we do anything. One thing we always do, we always say, if you chase money, you'll never find it.
Yeah.
If you add value to people,
Yeah.
eventually it finds you, or you find things that are going to add value. So what we did with the book, I actually wrote the book because I was getting on the speaking circuit and it added credibility. And I really wanted to do more in that world. So I was like, I talk about things I actually do. So we wrote a book about things that we actually do. And we was like, well, how have we helped people? Rather than just talk about it, let's interview those people.
Yeah.
So we actually went round with a copywriter, my sort of publisher, and we actually had a dictaphone, and they recorded live coaching sessions, and then they recorded.
That's awesome.
So we wrote the book in a way where we did it live, if you like. It took a long time, but we did it in a way where we were meeting people, talking about what we do, adding the value, and then showing the change. So
Yeah.
it's we were quite proud of it.
Yeah,
So
you
it's a
should
nice way
be.
to do it.
What I love about it is you sometimes find people who are successful and they're like, I'm successful, I've made loads of money, I do this, and I'm...
Your typical TikTok bragger.
Exactly. And not necessarily like TikTok, but you find them on YouTube, you find them on Facebook, and like...
They're just flexing their achievements for the sake of it.
And it's just... But you don't do that. You literally, instead of... This book isn't about you. This book is about the things that you've obtained, the things that you've learned, the things that you've actually put into practice.
And how they can help others.
And how they can help others. It's not you bragging, it's you saying, do you know what? This is how you can be successful. And it's so rare to find things like that, because it's not like you're saying, I know you don't like to toot your own horn, but you've got so many people who would love to toot your horn, because you are amazing. You really are. And if ever I have any issues, I remember I had an issue last year and I was just like, do you know what? This is really upsetting me. Like, I don't know what to do about it. It was a business little query thing. And I was a bit like, I don't know what to do. I messaged you, you called me straight away and you were like, right, this is what you need to do. And it's just like, you just help people. And I just, you're just brilliant.
Very wholesome book.
I don't like the word success, because I don't believe there's any such thing as success, because the more successful I think you become, the more you'll want anyway. And I think I've been very lucky that people I've hung around with that I've learned from have been very successful, but they've never classed themselves as successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you meet someone that's, you know they're successful, but if they tell you they're successful, then I don't really
It takes it away a little bit.
does.
It values it.
it a lot, I think, and like they're not really successful, because you can't be. There's no such thing as success. I don't really know what that is. You know?
Yeah.
And I think the more success you have, the more challenges you get. So you never stop learning. And for me, I have to just keep learning, and that's what it's all about. And I learned a lot on the speaking circuit. I'm by no means an accomplished speaker. I've spoken with some amazing speakers, and you learn so much. And for me, it's more about who I learn from. When I'm in these rooms, I know I'm there because I've got something to offer, but I always feel like the smallest person in the room. There's a lovely saying, isn't there? You know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
And I like that because that's kind of true, because I love to learn.
Oh, definitely.
I love sitting around and being around people, and just, if I'm on a talk and I'm on first, I might stay all day because I want to see the other speakers.
Yeah.
Just go, I've done my bit, I'm going home.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to learn way more from watching the other speakers than I am from just doing my bit and going home and taking your paycheck, you know?
Yeah.
You just always learn something. And when you're around those people, it's just amazing. I like just connecting with new people all the time, and the more I can learn, the better. And you can never have enough knowledge, you know, and for me, that's addictive. It's just...
This is so wholesome. I love this.
I know. This is why I wanted to get you on here. But the thing is that we could talk so much about business. We could literally ask you all of the questions under the sun. But if I'm completely honest, I think most of the questions that I've ever had in business when I was starting up is basically all in the book. So we need to get everybody to have a look at this book if you want to start your own business, and if you want to take your passion and career seriously. The word, when you said about
we'll
success,
sort out some sort of giveaway thing as well.
Yeah, we'll do a little competition and stuff.
What you want to do with that.
Yeah, we'll do a little competition.
We'll do a separate little video for it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's really funny that you say that you don't really like the word success. The reason why I say success is because when I was younger, people are like, oh, do you want to be famous? Do you want to be famous? And that word really, really, really grinds on me. I'm just like, no, I don't like the word famous.
Yeah.
I want to be successful, not famous. And
there was an interview I really liked with the singer from the Libertines, Pete Doherty, and he was being interviewed by someone from Channel 4, and he was like, oh, what's it like to be a rock star? And he's like, oh, don't call me that. He was like, what should I call you? And he was like, just call me Peter. Like, it was like really nice. He's like, it's like me calling you a daytime TV host or something. It's like, just call me by my name. I don't want to be classed as successful by being called a rock star. Like, he was like, oh, success. And I think to me, success is freedom to do sort of what you want.
I was going to say that. I think success is different to everybody. You know, I speak to some people and their goals are just to have a better work-life balance or be at home more.
Yeah.
You know, some people actually don't want loads of money. They actually want to be at home more.
Yeah.
And if that's what they aspire to be, then brilliant. You know, I'll help them find a way to do that. But it's different for everybody. I think people value success and they look at success as money and fame, and it just doesn't work like that.
See, arguably the most successful person in the world, Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, now 200 billion or something now, his net worth, or he made that in a day, something.
He's definitely struggling.
Yeah, he's like, don't know how he's going to get by, recent divorce. But his wife now became the richest woman in the world because of the divorce.
Really?
Yeah, how scary is that? But he was being interviewed and was asked, oh, what's it like to be known as the richest man in the world? And he was like, I'd rather be known as like something like the best dad in the world or something. I was like, see, that's success in my eyes.
If you watch his story, I study a lot of bizarre people, and I did in the early days. I studied Jeff Bezos because it was fascinating to me. This is way before he was as big as he is now. How someone could set up his ideas. It was his thinking. You know, he just wanted to take a bookshop online. That was his goal, and look where that's gone.
Pretty much.
You know, his goal was to just take a bookshop and be the first person to do it online. And look how
it's expanded.
First ever like office in his house and his little tiny thing with a few books. He's like, I just want to get these books online. You know, the internet's coming, and
he saw it.
The internet is coming.
Imagine that being the day. Like, I'm so excited for when the internet's out or something. Like, we're excited about when a new camera's out, but imagine like back in the day. Oh, the internet's out next week or something.
Just quickly, a little bit of camera news. Connor, would you like to say what will be out in the next few weeks?
Oh, ding ding. So I think we pretty much said about this so much, but we have a love for our cameras, which is the M50s. Rumoured to be 6 weeks, the M50 Mark IIs are out. I'm going to be getting one, which is exciting. So a little bit of camera news there.
Yeah, a little bit of camera news. Sorry, we're a little bit camera nerds. We're going to take a tiny little break and then we'll be back very shortly.
And in that break, you'll be able to find out how you can get one of Lee's books in our little giveaway competition. Woo! So stay tuned.
Hey guys, this is so exciting. We are doing our first competition of the Young Broke Musicians podcast.
Young Broke Musicians giveaway.
Hell yeah! So if you guys want to get your hands on this book by the wonderful Lee Smith and Spencer Wood, then all you have to do
is follow at Young Broke Musicians Pod on Instagram and at Lee Smith Magic on Instagram. We'll choose a random winner. You have to follow us both on there. Don't just follow Lee, don't just follow us. You've got to follow both of us. And we will choose a random winner in a few days. We'll send you a DM or something and you'll get your hands on this very, very incredible book. It will help you out so much.
It's like my Bible.
It is the Bible. It's better than the Bible.
It is better than the Bible. A 5-star review on Amazon. Literally nothing less than 5 stars. This book is amazing. So thank you to Lee as well for giving us one of these to give to you guys.
Thank you for being our guest and on with the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Young Broke Musicians with me, Roxy.
And me, Connor.
And Lee Smith.
Hey.
Oh, amazing. So we do need to talk a little bit about your magic.
We do.
Where did your love for magic come from?
Where did it start?
Yeah.
This is a long story that I'll cut very, very short.
Okay.
Nice.
I didn't get into magic until I was 18.
Oh, wow.
I think I started really young. I didn't.
Wow.
That's the thing. You hear so many people like stories of like people like at secondary school like scamming their kids, like their mates with like magic tricks, and starting really young.
I did do magic. Obviously, I dabbled in it when I was younger, and I actually met a magician not that long ago who knew me when I was a kid, and he's like, Lee, when I used to do children's parties, you were the worst one. He was like, you were the one who used to heckle.
Really?
I remember that.
Love that.
No, I know the poor guy feels, but I had no interest in magic really, and I tried a lot of things. I was a very I don't even know what the word is. I was one of these people that just did everything, DJ, I tried all these things.
Nice.
I hated school.
Same.
I've got no academic skills at all. I don't.
Same.
You're in good company.
You're in very good company there.
I always wanted to live my passion, no matter what it was. I'd get very good at things, and then I sort of give them up, and I'd get good at something else, I'd give it up, and I sort of went through this pattern. And when I was about 18, it's kind of like fate. I'll tell this little story very quickly. I was kind of working in a pub. I was a carpenter by trade, working with my dad, but I was doing some bar shifts and things. And I went into a bookshop with one of my friends, and he saw this like pack of see-through playing cards. They're like, you might have seen them, like plastic playing cards, waterproof. Okay. And I thought, well, I'll buy them because I play some, card games in the pub, blah blah blah. Use them in the bar. Just play Snap with the bar stuff, blah blah.
Snap.
Really, being completely honest. But the same day, went into another shop. He had to get a book for his sister, and we went into Borders, and there was a book on the shelf, and it said 101 amazing card tricks. It was just sitting in the wrong place on the shelf. So I stood off. Or
was it the right place?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. And then I picked it up and I bought this book, and I went home. I learned a couple of really simple little tricks. I started doing them in the pub and in the bar, doing them on people. I loved it, and I was winning free drinks, and the girls liked it. I was like, "This is
nice,
cool, This is awesome." And I was doing a bit of DJing still at the time, and I was pretty good actually on the DJ circuit. I was playing nightclubs, I was playing some pretty big names, and I was actually doing quite well on the DJ circuit.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, this passion for magic sort of took over, and I just loved it. But it was a really, really hard thing to learn. In fact, they say it's one of the hardest things to being a musician. They say, like, learning music, and it's actually quite funny being a magician, because I get mistaken for a musician a lot, because people say, what do you do?
We've had that before.
They go, what do you play?
Cards?
We've had that before. I've been like at a gig and I've plugged the podcast like in the middle of my set, and I'm like, oh, if you like what you're hearing, I've got a little podcast that I host with my best mate, and it's called Young Broke Musicians, and I went, magicians? I was like, no, musicians. Guitar? You see guitar? Yeah.
Exactly the same the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. I just got a bug for it, and I just loved it. I was learning more and more and more. And eventually, an ex-girlfriend I had years ago sort of bought me a DVD on metal video, VHS back then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Betamax, can't remember. Really old.
Back in the day.
This magic shop in London that you could go to, and I went in there, and I bought some sort of DVDs or videos again, of this sort of magician that was on this DVD that I'd learned from. I was like, this is really, really cool. So I went in this store, and I went home, and it was like, here's some really difficult stuff. If you learn that, come back in and prove to us that you're serious. And I learned it all. And I went back in there, and I love this, and it just becomes something that I just did more and more and more.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Over time, people started saying, "Oh, would you do parties?" Like, well, I guess I could.
Yeah.
And got some little business cards sort of made up.
Oh, I love that.
That's really cool.
You have a machine,
Nice.
I love that.
And before I knew it, I was doing events and parties, and it just kind of grew from there. And I did that for a number of years, and it got pretty successful. Again, I hate the word success, but it got pretty busy. And for me, I was doing all right. You know, I was like, this is okay. And then all of a sudden, I got a bit older, and I started to have kids, and I needed to earn more money, and I got a mortgage, and I was like, I'm going to have to sort my life out.
Yeah.
And that's when I needed to make change myself. So that's when I realised I couldn't do it alone. So I seeked out help, and you know, that's a very long story short, but
I like it.
I can press it there.
Now staying on the theme of magic, the other day I don't usually like watching things that like more than 2 hours long. My interest just goes.
Yeah.
Like me telling you about Star Wars and stuff.
Yes.
Bit of a Star Wars nerd, and I will make you watch it. But
No.
I was on YouTube the other day, as per, and I was going on the trending tab, and it was the David Blaine Ascension thing, 3 hours long, and I watched the entirety of it. Like,
What is it?
so basically, I probably should fill it in. If anyone's not heard of David Blaine, obviously, magician, but also sort of endurance performing artist. So he hung from a box. He was on like the top of, was it Big Ben or the Eiffel Tower or something like
He
that?
stood on top of a platform.
That's it, yeah.
Himself, in a glass box.
That was it, yeah.
That was for 40
He
days. wasn't
froze
it?
himself in ice, buried himself alive in Times Square, and his latest sort of performance art was called Ascension. It was a YouTube original. It was hosted by an incredible tech YouTuber called Marques Brownlee, who films in everything in 8K. Yeah, love it, appreciate it. And his basically inspiration was he's never done a trick or a performance that's beautiful, and he wanted to do it for his daughter, who was there the whole time. And basically the concept was the scene from Up. So he'd basically like hold on to these massive sort of, there was 52, quite funny, 52, giant helium balloons, and he basically rose up to like 25,000 feet. Like,
How did he
unreal.
come back down?
So he basically like sort of cut the cord and then free-falled for about a minute and then parachuted down.
How is that magic, though?
It's sort of the endurance of
It's
it.
more
A bit of both, yeah.
Mm.
He's kind of diverse.
Sorry, I mean that's pretty impressive.
How is that magic?
David Blaine, because I give David Blaine credit for making a lot of magicians popular.
Oh, definitely.
What I love about David Blaine, when you see him actually perform his street magic, his stuff he does live,
Yeah.
he perform the same sort of magic we perform,
Yeah.
performers. He doesn't go down the big camera trick illusion, and he generally does the stuff that we do.
Yeah.
But it's the endurance stuff, I think, that's made him famous.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
made himself famous by doing these big elaborate stunts, but I give David Blaine credit for bringing magic into the
Sort of the mainstream.
making it really popular again. And
It's the same with Dynamo, I think, as well.
yeah, Dynamo as
Yeah.
well. I mean, yeah, I've been very lucky to meet them all and sort of
Oh, wow.
know some of them, you know, fairly well. And but David Blaine, for me, gets the credit for making magic really cool, bringing it in public eye, because for years, people don't know this, magic died a death and it was stagnant. No one looked at magic. It wasn't until David Blaine came on the scene that it was really cool again.
Wow.
Dynamo's done that again recently.
Okay,
Now, one
well, I
thing I-
found a newfound respect for him then. There
I
you
like
go.
it. It was it was really nice because he gave his daughter a little present just before he like went up, and she had like a little balloon as well. But one thing I've always wanted to know, now whenever I've asked like magicians at weddings and parties, like, how do you do this? And they're like, no, magic circle, you don't tell. But do magicians tell other magicians how you do tricks?
Yeah, it's how you learn.
Like it.
You
Okay.
know when another magician's
cool.
established. So
Yeah.
You well, we all know each other anyway, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you don't know the magician, you can tell straight away if they're serious. And you're always happy to share ideas with another magician
Yeah.
that's on the circuit. It's a bit like business, really. You know, we all sort of share, and that's how you
Yeah.
learn. I mean, again, comes down to collaborating. A lot of what I've learned is from my peers and other magicians on the circuit, and
Yeah.
we swap ideas and we help each other. And yeah, I think that's the key. And I will mention that actually while we're on this. It's really important about the competition, helping each other, like many industries. And I know that
We've said that on the pod before, haven't we?
musicians, there's this whole thing about competition and undercutting.
Yeah.
Don't ever listen to any of that stuff. You know,
No,
there's
definitely.
only collaboration in my eyes that exists.
Yeah.
People don't want to collaborate with you, that's their journey. But
Yeah.
you know, you can all help each other. You can only
you can.
grow together. That's the only way really to move forward.
Exactly. Like
Important.
nothing should be sort of. You don't want to make enemies in your industry unless it's something that's personal, completely unbusiness related. You don't really want to make enemies. That's why we said on a podcast, like we were talking about sort of top 5 tips that we've learned, you know, from, you know, our experience, you know, 5, 6, 7 years of gigging, that no one's really your competition.
I feel so old.
Far from it.
God.
But we were basically chatting like no one's your enemy. Like, you know, if I can't do a gig, I pretty much always offer them to you.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily,
versa.
vice versa. I mean, I'm taking any gig that comes really at the moment.
It's true.
But to be fair, I've actually got one that I do need to give you because I'm away that day.
Thank you.
But
Magician.
Magician, musician. Yeah, no one's your enemy, because like I said, if I can't do a gig or if I can't do a job, I'll always offer it to you, or if you can't do it, offer it to someone else. And you're just going to not achieve more, but it's just going to make it much more of an easy ride and a journey.
And you will achieve more. And there's a big part of it in the book, actually, called the buddy system.
Yeah.
Where we tried to take it to the next level, where it wasn't just like swish a gig and pass a gig. It was like, how can we actually play to each other's strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah.
Where are you good? Where am I weak? Where am I strong? And we would literally sit there and go, we used to go into London. We used to go down to the German gymnasium at King's Cross, and we'd just spend a whole day mind mapping. And we'd roll out these massive sheets of paper.
Nice.
Love it.
You'd love that, because you love a good spreadsheet and drawing.
After we had a little meet up, I literally went out to IKEA and bought the roll that you literally just roll. My room is filled with everything everywhere.
I don't want to tell you. Well, I kind of want to tell you about the desk I've been looking at on IKEA. So it's a desk, but the desk is also a whiteboard.
Oh my gosh!
I ordered one of those.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Well, you've got a wall that you can walk around, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got your white
I love
wall.
it. It's about being creative.
Yeah.
If you can map everything out, but we like use this buddy system to get these bigger projects and to actually find things we can't do. I'll be like, Spencer, what are you really good at? What don't you want to do? And he'd map out his journey. I'll map out mine, but on the same goal.
Yes.
And then obviously playing to each other's strengths and weaknesses, our buddy system became huge for us. And when we first met, we sort of did pass each other gigs for the first 3 to 6 months. That becomes so lucrative for us that we were like, this is crazy. We've got to share everything. So we started sharing all of our clients, and between us we just grew. And that it become really quite popular with our clients. Like, oh, if you're not available, just send Spencer. And they were loving it. And it just meant
building up that network.
So then we got busier and busier and busier. We employed other people. And now we've got like 5 or 6 different magicians we work with regularly. We pass work to. Then we've got a team that come in outside of that. And it's just amazing.
That's really cool.
People that can cover everything from like conference hosting, product launches, team builds, speaking events, trade shows, exhibitions, conferences. So we can cover all the bases. And that just comes again from massive collaboration and working with others and educating people, how you want to work. And it means you never have to say no. You can work with these people on commission basis if you still want to keep it as a business. You can just pass the work. And
it's like our friend Lawrence, he started his own sort of not production agency, but music agency.
I do.
Who has Proud to Present, awesome group. And shout them out. Big up to Proud to Present. They've been putting on some awesome gigs, but he sort of saw the problem of like agencies sort of taking too much commission from musicians, so he decided to start his own, and he's doing an incredible job with that, and he's building that network and those circles.
And being a musician himself as well, he knows
the struggle.
He knows the struggle, and he knows how much you can charge and how much it's okay for somebody to take as a fee for getting you the gigs and stuff. So
I mean, obviously, no names named. I mean, we know who they are, but there are some people in our area and in our circles that do charge a ridiculous amount of commission, and doesn't really sort of weigh up to the cost of you actually doing the work, does it? So it's nice to have those good circles of people you can sort of trust and rely on and work with.
It's so important. We've got a circle of people that we just pass the work. I don't want a commission. You just pass me the job. Just give me one back when you can.
Nice.
Next month, 6 months, 2 years.
Scratch your back, scratch mine, and all that.
It's just amazing, and I love having a great network around me. It's all about your network. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be doing half the things that I'm doing if it wasn't for the people that was around me. Because you cannot grow alone. I've only got a certain amount of skills, and it comes down to just working with people that you can trust. And
it's good to delegate as well.
And the wheels just turn. You have to meet people. In fact, I'll talk about this. This is something I'm mega passionate about, and it's not in the book because it came about after the book. I've been doing it a long time.
Exclusive.
And if I ever did another book, it'd be a big part of it. I call it the NAM principle. NAM, N-A-M.
Okay.
Which stands for the non-agenda meeting.
Nice.
Now, no one I know is really setting up meetings unless there's an agenda there. If somebody wants something, is usually why a meeting happens. So I worked out a number of years ago that I was only really achieving what I was achieving because of the people I was collaborating with and working with. And I was like, why aren't other people doing this? People do meet people for socials, but they never really meet up with people to learn about somebody else. So I created this principle called the NAM principle, which stands for the non-agenda meeting. And this is when you're recommended maybe to somebody else in your industry. It might be someone else that has been name dropped to you. It might be someone that even says, you should meet this person. Just meet that person. right? Go away.
Have a conversation.
Reach out to them. They might find it a bit weird at first.
Yeah.
Like, why is this random person want to meet with me? The harder the person to get hold of, the more, busier they are, the more lucrative that meeting might turn out to be for one of you.
Okay.
But when you meet this person, have no agenda. Just lay out what you do, what your passion is, but
have a chat.
Agenda really from your side is to learn about them. So you can go and recommend that person to somebody else.
Yeah.
And that is what I do. I meet up with lots and lots of people in the sole goal to recommend them to somebody else. And in return, they feel compelled to do the same. And it just builds this massive network of people that want to help each other. And it's just been a game changer for me. And I know for a fact that a lot of the projects, when I got this thing called the business tree backwards, where you take your biggest projects, you reverse engineer them to see how they started, they nearly always come back to a NAM meeting. That person introduced me from that person, but it come back to that NAM meeting. And it's fascinating when you actually look at it from the outside and you see how it progressed.
Yeah.
But
that's amazing.
By meeting loads of people. So I had a time when I was doing 3 or 4 NAM meetings a day, every day, just meeting people. If I wasn't working, I was meeting people. I wasn't sitting at home watching Netflix. I wasn't like watching Jeremy Kyle, whatever it is people do.
Jeremy Kyle. Who remembers that?
NAM meetings. And that's how I grew my business. And I'm still doing it now. When I can, I don't have as much time as I used to, but when I do, that's what I do.
That's amazing.
Why I Shifties. I work with a lovely company called Shift Momentum.
Yeah.
Do like business.
They're good guys there.
Lovely guys,
Alex, we love Alex.
Alex came from a NAM meeting, and when he came down, he talks about it still. He's like, this blooming magician reached out to me because I didn't know.
Blooming magician.
He goes, he's asked me all these questions. He's got loads of contacts for me, and I'm working with all these people, and now he's working with them. and that's just how it works, and it's not enough of us are collaborating in the right ways.
But it's having the confidence to do that.
It comes with doing it. I never used to be a confident person. I still don't always think of myself. I know I am a confident person. I have no fear of going on a stage or speaking to people or going into rooms, but there's still times that I do, and it's like that whole, sometimes it's quite nice when you get that lack of confidence because it makes you feel real.
See, I think if you're nervous or having a lack of confidence about something, it sort of shows that it means something to you. Because if you're nervous about it, it means you're passionate about it.
You're doing something right
and you
by
care.
pushing yourself out of your comfort
zone. And all the best things happen outside your comfort zone, so the best thing advice I give is just go and do these meetings. Just go and meet people. Just go and reach out to someone. Maybe make it easy at first. Reach out to someone you know a little bit. But go and learn a bit more about them. I bet you've all got people that you know what they do for a living, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
It's like you say to someone, I've got friends, for example, I say, what do you do? Oh, I'm a computer analyst or engineer. I go, cool. I don't know what he does.
Yeah.
And I know
sits at a desk.
But this is the same with a lot. No, people can't really articulate what they do.
Yeah.
When you can find out someone's passion, they can talk about it very easily.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to talk to them. And I think that's the fear with a lot of people. They don't go networking. They don't know what to say. They're not confident in their own product. They're not confident in their own brand. But when you actually ask them about their passion, what makes them tick, they will talk and talk and talk, and they will tell you everything.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to listen for.
Yeah.
And that's an easy way to break the ice and to get into networking, because I love networking. And what I will do is I'll gauge people. If someone comes up to me, hi, I'm so-and-so, and shoves a business card in my face, I ain't working with that person. The business card's going in the bin, and they're there for one reason.
Yeah. They've got their agenda.
Tell me about your business. What do you do? Where do you, they don't do it very often. I have to ask those questions normally, and they do it in return. So the easiest way to get the confidence in networking and collaborating with people is to learn about somebody else.
I think there's one moment that I was really pleased with myself, which I thought to myself as soon as I did it, I was like, Lee would be proud. We were on our way to London.
We was, yeah.
And there was a lady who was sat opposite us.
Sean. Her name was Sean.
Was it Sean?
Sean.
Oh, brilliant. So Sean, Connor and I were talking about, we were off to do a job in London.
He was.
Filming and taking photos and that kind of stuff. And
living our best creative life.
And there was a lady who was sat opposite us, wasn't she? And I said hello to her, didn't I?
Yeah. We were sort of packing our camera bags up and down, weren't we? And she was like plopped next to us.
I sort of said hello. I made a conversation with her. And then she said, can I just say, did I hear you guys talking that you do videography? And we were like, yeah. I said, Connor's got a business card and Connor does this and we do that together and all that kind of stuff. She said, okay, well, I'm part of a retail,
Thames Valley Housing.
Yeah, Thames Valley. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's cool. I was like, well, if you need anything, she's like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We need some videos and we need some like photos, didn't she? And then I was like, okay, well, Connor's got a business card if you want to hand her over the business card. And
Which
you
I
made
did.
a
I made a
contact,
friend.
didn't you?
Yeah, I had a little Zoom meeting with her. Made a friend.
Oh, train friend.
Train friend. Oh, business friend. And yeah, I didn't expect, like, half the time when you hand a business card to someone, like, over, I think you can relate to this, and, well, anyone can relate to this. When you're at a gig and they go, oh, we'd love you to play at our wedding, here's a business card, you never hear from them again. But that one chance, that one time that you do, it was really nice, because she DM'd me on Facebook and was like, oh yeah, we're doing like a little Zoom thing if you want to like come and chat, maybe play a song and talk about what you do. And it was really funny because she said, oh, we're doing one next week where everyone's bringing all their dogs. So that was really cool. That. So all the dogs, people had their, like, on the Zoom, everyone had their dogs on it, which was really, really cool.
That's excellent. I love that. People would love that as well.
Oh, she would.
You never know where that's going to go. You never
know.
It's
funny.
Exactly.
You never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly.
I'll give you a very quick story. I used to do a lot of magic in the pub and bar, like I say. That's actually where my first sort of break came from, because I met a guy called John Potter, and I haven't seen him for a long time. I think he emigrated to New Zealand, but nice. He gave me a business card, and he said, "You're an interesting character, sir. He goes, I want you to speak to me and call me." And he was the first person that ever gave me one of these. You might not remember them, but he gave me this business card. It was a disc that you used to put in a PC, and it actually opened a program.
Well, like a floppy disk thing.
It wasn't a floppy disk. It was like a
compact one.
I don't know what it was.
Mini disc.
Like a
mini disc.
Really. Yeah. It goes into a PC, and then it reads it, and it was brought up his website. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought, well, this guy's special. He's cool. And I was like, all new.
That's creative.
And I don't know why. I just felt compelled to ring this random guy who gave me this card. And he went, "I'm so glad you called me." He said, "I wasn't going to reach out to you." He said, "But you've made the effort to call me." He goes, "My name's John Potter." He goes, "And I run events for a company called Sparks. They're a children's charity.
Right.
And they do lots of events for children like with problems in the womb." And he goes, "I want you to come along to an event and do some of your magic." He said, "I'll take you along, introduce you to some people." When I got there, just full of celebrities. So one of my first ever events I done was for a bunch of like A-list celebrities.
Wow.
And I was a bit petrified.
No pressure.
I ended up picking up work from that event, and then I'm still working with Sparks today, all these years later.
Oh, that's so lovely.
It's like a chance encounter with a guy that I just felt compelled to reach out to. Maybe that's deep down where it all comes from, I don't know. But it's, and for me, that was like a lesson in always make an effort, always reach out to people if they show interest.
See, my friend's got a story like that, who's also a magician. He's met up with Dynamo quite a few times, and Dynamo's sort of like giving him that sort of mentoring thing. And I think this was back when Dynamo had his sort of allergic reaction to, I can't remember what it was, but he was unable to work because he was recovering. And my friend, big up Connor Walsh, similar name, and he got offered a magic gig, and he was a bit apprehensive of taking it. He took it. They gave him the address and the time and date, and then he quickly realised it was the Brits after party.
That's cool.
Yeah. How mad is that? Just he was like, even though he was like nervous and wasn't too keen, just because he had that little bit of self-doubt, like he wasn't ready, but he absolutely smashed it, and it was the Brits after party.
That's good. You never give it. You just got to do it.
Definitely.
You never know who you're going to meet. You never know where the break's going to come from. So just never say no. It is nerve-wracking. It's like when you first, like you said earlier, about making the leap. Just do it. I always say to people, I can speak to you in 6 months and you'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
I can speak to you in 6 months and you're having a different conversation because you made the leap 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And you've just got to do it. There's no good time.
No.
No good time ever. I don't care what anyone says. There's better times, but there's no good time.
It's like having kids, they say, isn't it? It's like you're never fully ready to have kids, but you just got to take the jump. And
Definitely.
I mean, yeah. But there is one thing that really stuck out on me, and I think you was with, and I might be wrong, and I'm really sorry if I am, but I thought you was with the Manchester United team.
Yeah, possibly.
And it was to do with a tie. You did a trick.
Oh, yeah, no, was
that
Arsenal.
It wasn't Rashford, was it?
I can't remember who it was. Yeah, there was. We get a lot of content filmed at these events, and there was. I think Lad Bible shared that.
Yes, it was.
Big up Lad Bible.
I don't even remember doing half the things. They just turn up online, and I'm like, I didn't know that was going to be on there.
I didn't even see it was you to start with, which was really funny. It was on my wall, and it was Lad Bible, and I saw that there was.
We've got history of Lad Bible.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I saw that there was. I saw that there was the video and a magician, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And I looked up and I was like, that's Lee. I was like, that's amazing. I instantly like messaged my mum. I was like, check this out, and shared it.
As we're on the subject, again, I wouldn't normally go into it, but I've done a lot with football over the years. I've worked with Chelsea and various other teams, and used to do John Terry's parties, house and everything, and he's a lovely guy. And, you know, I never believe what I see about any of these celebrities. I take everyone at face value, and everyone used to say to me,
there's always different sides to each story.
Do you know what? The football industry for me has been amazing, and I've never had nothing but a great experience for anyone I've worked with. But I did a wedding I got that through a wedding. And I did, in fact, it was a business tree I did backwards. I looked at one of the Arsenal jobs and I thought, how did I get that job? And I actually looked back and it came from a wedding I'd done with one of the guys that worked at Arsenal TV. And he introduced me to somebody else. He then asked me to go into Arsenal. And it was a lovely job, actually, because they gave me pretty much a whole afternoon with Arsenal.
Wow.
The spec was, we want you to come in, blow their minds and make it go viral. Like, no problem.
That's instant viral kind of content there.
Me a load of time with the players, we just filmed loads of stuff. But then off the back of that, of course, I ended up with like the player awards, the charity events for them, then stuff in the boxes, and just loads of work with the team and other people associated with them.
Wow.
But also at that same wedding, I met a guy who runs a recruitment company. I now do all their work. I looked at the people that I met from that one, that linked back to somebody else in Arsenal, and then that linked to somebody else in the corporate event I did at Café de Paris. That led me to a job in Paris. And it all just comes full circle, but it all come down to one wedding on that journey that I'd done for somebody.
That's incredible how one
amazing, isn't it?
thing that you think is just another job could lead to so much.
You just never know who you're speaking to.
It's mad.
I did a lot with a guy called David Doherty, who's a TV gardener. He's got a programme with Alan Titchmarsh.
Nice.
Called, he's got Love Your Garden. They did Pimp My Shed, I think they've done.
Okay.
I
love that. Pimp My Shed.
That works to GMTV, I think it was.
Nice.
And I met him, and he asked me to come and do some events for him, which led on to me I did a load of launching shopping centres with him. We went around, I did some magic and some performance, and we launched these shopping centres. And then he asked me to do the Chelsea Flower Show.
Wow.
One year he had the most expensive garden, and it was all made of diamonds.
Whoa.
At that gig, I was doing all Ace of Diamond themed magic around the garden, but I got to meet, obviously, like the Beatles turned up, well, not the Beatles, but obviously there was some of the...
Paul McCartney.
McCartney turned up.
Or was it?
Or
was it Paul McCartney?
Conspiracy theories about Paul.
It's true, Elvis turned up. So there was all these like amazing people.
And Avril Lavigne.
And then I get a call from someone saying to me, can you do an event on the Orient Express? And I was like,
wow,
no problem at all. And it turned out when I got there, I had to sign NDAs, didn't even know I was working for. But when I got there, it was the guy that supplied the diamonds to David Doherty's thing, and he owns
Oh my God.
So it just all goes full circle. You know, you've just got to keep going out there. You just got to keep meeting people and just do the best you can. That's my biggest advice to anyone. Just love what you do. Do it for you as well as everybody else. You know, I do everything I do has to have a value to somebody else, but I have to be me. I have to love what I'm doing. And like when I did that themed garden thing, rather than just go and do some magic, I themed it all up. I made it bespoke to the job. I added extra value. You must over-deliver is the word.
Yeah.
Always over-deliver. If you over-deliver, you get rewarded for that.
Oh, definitely.
Rather than I see so many musicians that I have worked with, and they turn up, and a lot of the time they look a bit scruffy, they just do their bit, they don't engage with people. You can tell they don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
Just another job for them, really.
Another job for them, yeah. But
we know a few.
The other ones that over-deliver, that go the extra mile, and every time I speak to them, they're somewhere else, they're doing this amazing thing.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that I'm just a big believer that when you work hard, you love what you do, you add value to other people.
Yeah.
You over-deliver on what you do, you will just be busy. There's no secret.
No.
You know, it's just be better than brilliant.
Definitely. I love that. Be better than brilliant.
Just do the best you can and over-deliver. You know, whatever you think you can do, you can always do more. And you'll learn more from doing that. And 100%. I think that's how it grows, really, you know. But it's just work hard, collaborate with people. And
I love that.
Do the best you can.
That's really cool.
Love that. So thank you so much. We are going to possibly ask for you to do a little bit of magic for us. So yes, we will move some bits around. So
we have one question though. We ask all our guests.
Yes. Would you like to ask it?
Go for it. So we ask all our guests the same question. If you could plan your own festival, like music festival or magic festival, maybe, Who like a Glastonbury or something? So you've got your headliners for your Friday, your Saturday, and your Sunday. Who would they be?
Oh, this is a good one. It's going to be a really bizarre one. I'd definitely get Jeff Wayne to do a live version of War of the Worlds.
Nice.
100%.
Okay.
Love that.
I'd have to have the Eagles.
Good.
Yes, Lee, they were on my list.
They were on your
Yes,
list.
they were. Yeah.
I was brought up with the Eagles.
Good
A lot of
man.
people don't know this. My dad's a well-known musician, and a lot of people don't actually know this. My dad's a professional drummer,
Oh well.
and he's sponsored by various brands. And my dad, over the years, has played with various people from the Kinks and other people. There's pictures of me when I'm little with Jimmy Rodford and everything.
Oh,
That's amazing.
So I've been brought up with
Yes.
With good music.
good proper music.
Real music.
And I don't know. There's so many bands I'd like to have, but I think the other one probably has to be Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, that was on yours
that
as
was
well.
My second one, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was like Bryan Adams.
Love
and
Fleetwood
then
Mac.
Fleetwood Mac and Eagles,
I
yeah.
was brought up
Pink.
with sort of ELO, Fleetwood Mac,
Oh,
Good choice.
Eagles.
we saw ELO a couple
Did
of
you?
years ago. Yeah, that was amazing. I saw Fleetwood Mac and I saw the Eagles as well when they came. So
they're all
it was
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Sort of like it's all history for me, but I've been for years a massive fan of All the Worlds.
So they would be your. They
They would. So it sounds like we're on the.
That's amazing. Yeah, we
What
are.
was your third one?
Bryan Adams.
Right, I saw you.
Bryan
Bryan
Adams.
Adams featuring Pink, because nobody is better than Pink.
No one is better than Pink.
So we're gonna end it there, but we are also stay tuned because we're gonna have some incredible magic tricks from Lee coming up. So so if you're listening to the podcast on Spotify or Apple Music, get yourself over to
Head over to our YouTube channel.
and you'll be able to see these incredible tricks. So thank you so much, Lee.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
If
you.
anyone's got any comments, and I can come on and
We'll add
That's
all your
amazing.
links and
Yeah, we will.
website and socials
Definitely.
into
thank you so
description
much
as
for having me.
well.
Hope somebody got some value from it.
Oh,
well,
definitely.
we
we
did.
definitely
We definitely
did.
did.
We did.
We did. So
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Cheers.
Pleasure.
That was a good one.